Plug-in hybrid crossover. Most people will think Rav4 Prime and its delicious acceleration and over 40 miles of electric range. But what if I told you the Mitsubishi Outlander is by far the best-selling plug-in hybrid crossover out there? So today we're going to compare the all-new Mitsubishi Outlander plug-in hybrid against its biggest rival, the Toyota Rav4 Prime. So we're over at the Mitsubishi newsroom. The 23 Mitsubishi Outlander is priced starting around $41K after destination. We're going to compare that to the Rav4 Prime today, but let's talk about some of the juicy specs here. We have a larger 20 kilowatt hour battery. We also have a next generation plug-in hybrid system that allows for 420 miles of range. We'll talk about how that compares to the Rav4 as well today. One of the main features that this has over the Rav4 Prime is an additional row of seats, but the outgoing plug-in hybrid Outlander only had 2 rows of seats. Now we have the full functionality of the 3 rows of seats. So that is definitely an advantage for the new Outlander compared to the Rav4 Prime. Total system horsepower is 248 horsepower and 332 pound-feet of torque. First deliveries are starting at the end of November here stateside, with more availability nationwide in December. All right, so we're heading over to the spreadsheet. We're going to compare the Rav4 Prime, which is pretty much the king of crossovers, plug-in hybrid crossovers in the United States. The Outlander came in 2018 and here stateside, but it was available in Europe before that in 2013. And cumulative sales since 2013 has eclipsed over 300,000 units worldwide. So what we have on the left, Rav4 Prime. On the right is, well, in the center is the new Outlander. And then I have some of the specs of the old Outlander as well, because you might be able to find some really good deals on the outgoing Outlander if that is something that you guys are interested in. So let's just compare engine to engine. They both have 4 cylinders. They both are naturally aspirated. The Toyota has the big advantage here when it comes to the gasoline engine with over 34 more horsepower and about 20 more pound-feet of torque as well. Now, let's compare the electric motors, because when we're talking about plug-in hybrid, that is going to be the main driving force the majority of the time. So the front motor on the Rav4 Prime is the majority of the power, okay? Whereas the rear motor on the Outlander has the majority of the power. So it's going to be a little bit more sporty driving experience in theory with this Outlander plug-in hybrid. They're very comparable with combined power when it comes to fully EV, 233 electric horsepower for the Rav4 Prime and just under 250 for the plug-in hybrid Outlander. But where the Rav4 Prime has a big advantage is with its combined system horsepower. So you add the electric motors with that gasoline engine, that gets us 302 horsepower, where the Mitsubishi Outlander tops out at 248. So big advantage there for the Rav4 Prime, and that's why it can scoot to 60 miles an hour a lot quicker than the new Outlander at 5.7 seconds versus the 8 seconds. But if you look at the Rav4 Prime's acceleration on just under EV power, it's probably going to be very comparable, around 8 seconds, 0 to 60 to the Outlander. Battery size is a little bit larger on the Outlander plug-in hybrid, 20 kilowatts versus 18.1. However, since the Rav4 Prime is a little bit smaller vehicle, probably a little bit lighter as well, it has more electric range. So 42 miles of electric range versus the 38 of the Outlander, which is a huge upgrade versus the 24 miles we saw in the outgoing model. If we look at electric range plus the gasoline range, the Rav4 has a massive advantage here, 600 miles of range, and that you could probably top that. The Outlander plug-in hybrid only has 420 miles of range, which is immense for an electric car. But when you compare it to something in its own category of competition like the Rav4 Prime, it just doesn't hold a candle to that total combined range. Now, pricing is very competitive between the two of them. Rav4 Prime tops off around 45K if you can find one at MSRP, if you can find one at all. So where the Outlander comes at the same price, around 41K versus the Rav4 Prime. The top models top out around 51K. So you have multiple different tiers and packages of the Outlander. I think you have 3, where the Rav4 Prime has 2, the SE and the XSE, if I remember correctly. So most of you, if you're in the market for a plug-in hybrid, Rav4 Prime surges to the top of the list, there's no doubt. But now we have more competition. That's a beautiful thing. So this new Outlander is just going to be an option for those to want a competitive product that maybe they can't get the Rav4 Prime. Maybe they have a Mitsubishi dealership close by that is going to be favorable in dealing with them versus the markups that we see on the Rav4 Prime. So more competition is a beautiful thing, and the Rav4 Prime needs to have more of that because just the Rav4 Prime, there's just not enough battery packs out there from Panasonic to supply the market worldwide, let alone here in North America, where good luck finding one. It's very, very difficult. But the Outlander is just going to give customers more choice if they can't find the Rav4 Prime. Is the Rav4 Prime a better vehicle overall? I would say its powertrain is slightly superior, but the new Outlander is a really, really good vehicle overall. Watch my normal review with just the standard powertrain. I think it's a 2.5 liter, around 185 horsepower, if I remember right. And it got decent fuel economy, and it was just a really good family vehicle for us. I took that Outlander to get my girl's ears pierced, so it was an awesome experience being in that Outlander, where we can stack our whole family in it with the 3 rows of seats. So hopefully I get a plug-in hybrid Mitsubishi Outlander for review so I can test it, show you guys what it's like to live with the daily basis with a family of 6. And just real quick before I end this and talk about my status update with Hurricane Ian, Kia America announces 2023 Niro hybrid pricing. It's going to start at $26K excluding destination, so essentially round that up to about $28K after destination. And this is what the new Prius is going to have to fight against. So hopefully the Prius can come in at a similar, if not cheaper price than the new Kia Niro. Here are the different trim levels, 26, 29, and topping out at $32K before the $1,300 destination. EPA estimate at 53 miles per gallon for the new Niro hybrid has a 1.6 liter 4-cylinder engine with a 32 kilowatt electric motor, and it gives us 139 horsepower, 195 pound-feet of torque. Power sent to the front wheels via a 6-speed dual clutch. So I could make a whole nother video when the Niro and the new Prius are out on the market, because they're going to be duking it out. It's going to be very fun and exciting. But I'm going to end it there with automotive news. Status update for me. I am in Miami. I'm staying at my friend's house. They have a beautiful little family full of boys, and I brought my beautiful family full of little girls, and they just have a blast. My wife and I, of course, brought our dog too, and he's been loving it out here in unaffected, essentially, Miami. Back home, though, it's a different story. Just 2 hours away on the west coast of Florida, the southwest coast more specifically, Naples, close to where I live, houses were underwater. Luckily, my house didn't have any damage. Still no power at my house, still no water, still no cellular, and there's no gasoline. You go 40 minutes north to Fort Myers, where my in-laws live. Luckily, they were safe. But Fort Myers is absolutely devastated, as well as Sanibel Island, Captiva Island, Pine Island. It's a nightmare. It's a worst case scenario. No one ever has seen a hurricane like this on the west coast of Florida in living memory. So guys, thoughts and prayers out there. Definitely, I'll probably put a link to, if you guys want to donate to the relief fund to help out our brothers and sisters here in Southwest Florida. It's just devastating. And at the time of this recording, it's turned back into a hurricane after sweeping through Florida. It's going to be hitting South Carolina and other parts of the United States. So thoughts and prayers for those still suffering with Ian. And we got a long ways to go. It's going to be a long recovery for many of our brothers and sisters here in Florida, and potentially in the Carolinas as well. So thank you guys for your support. It's been interesting. It's not my first hurricane. Hurricane Irma really shook up my life. This one, not nearly is a life-changing for me, because I've got my crap together a little bit more as a human being this time around. But I just want to say thank you to you guys out there who have supported my family. Essentially have made this a much smoother experience. A lot of you guys support me through prayers, well wishes, thoughts, and I appreciate that. My family appreciates that. And we're just very fortunate, because just a block down the street, houses were underwater and my house was spared. So just very, very grateful, and thank you guys. Feel free to ask me questions, I guess, in the comments. I don't know if I'll be able to respond to them. It's been a transitory life the past 3 or 4 days. So I'm just glad everyone in my family is safe and healthy. And a big part of that is thanks to your guys' prayers and well wishes and thoughts. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.